Hello, good evening. Am I audible? All right, my screen is visible, right? Okay, great. Okay, so hi everyone. Welcome to Decoding the Gitverse by HackClub and Tech Researchers Club. Today we will be learning a bit about Git, GitHub, and open source. And as we navigate through the Gitverse, first I'd like to take a moment to share a little bit about my own coding journey and the incredible stops I've made along the way. I am Cynthia Kunar, your guide in this session, and currently I lead the app development department at HackClub. I'm in my third year of BTech studies at VIT Chennai. Since my very first year of college, I have been contributing to the open source world using GitHub, Stack Overflow, and Hacktoberfest. During my journey, I've had the privilege of contributing to various projects and honing my skills in the vibrant tech community. Now, let's embark on a brief tour of the milestones in my professional journey. I had the honor of working with Lattice Site, a construction company based in London, where I learned about Git and GitHub for the very first time. I had some incredible mentors and I gained insights that not only shaped my technical skills but also fueled my passion for contributing to the open source world. Later, I spread my wings at Intellection, a Bangalore-based company for tracking a child's education and growth. In the 3 months that I worked here as an Android development intern, I learned in detail about navigating through GitHub and solving merge conflicts. Presently, I am the project manager and technical head at a Hyderabad-based startup called Editsada Technologies. Each experience I had has added layers to my skill set and broadened my perspective. Now, as a part of Hack Club's app development, I am committed to driving innovation and fostering a culture of collaboration among my peers and juniors. But it's not just about the corporate milestones, it's about the community that has fueled my growth. So I invite each of you with me on this journey and let us go ahead and connect, share, and continue this ride together. Feel free to scan my LinkedIn QR code. Let's stay connected and who knows, maybe collaborate on the next big thing. So, thank you for having me while I told you about this brief intro of my coding journey. Let's get back to unlocking the mystery of Git, GitHub, and the vast world of open source. So, okay, so what are we going to be learning today? We are first going to see what are version control systems and their types. We are going to install Git, learn basic Git commands, create a GitHub account, customize your profile, and finally start contributing to open source using GitHub. I hope you all are excited for this session. We will straight away dive into it now. If you have any queries, feel free to write it in the chat box or the message part, and I will get back to it later. So let's begin. What is version control? To understand this, let's take a look at this student named Sam. Sam is working on his final semester project under a professor in his college. He has completed his project and documented it as the final.doc. So he now goes to his professor for review and tells him that this is his final project. The professor checks his project and gives some comments and tells him to make some minor changes. He renames the file and sends it back to Sam. Sam goes ahead and makes the modifications. He gives it to the professor again for review as final ref2.doc. The professor says, no, this needs more improvements, and again comments on the file, returning it to Sam. So this back and forth process keeps on going. And after a point, Sam ends up having multiple revision files and might lose track of the useful ones because all he can see is the name of the doc file, right? So now imagine a world where your projects evolve so smoothly that each and every change is recorded in detail. And whenever you want to look back at what I did at what stage of time, it is so easy and you can just directly go and look into it. That is the magic of version control. Version control of a project refers to tracking and managing changes made to the project's files and code over time in a special database called repository. So it involves using some specialized software known as version control system or VCS in short to keep track of the modifications, ensure proper collaboration among team members, and maintain a reliable record of the project's development. We use VCS. So in VCS, there are two types mainly. That is the centralized VCS and distributed VCS. In centralized VCS, there is a central server that stores the entire history of the code base. Developers can check out or fetch and update to the latest version of a project to work on and commit changes back to the central repository. An example of centralized VCS is Subversion or SVN in short. So, what are the advantages of this centralized VCS? We have the centralized control and ease of administrating the code. But there is one big disadvantage. That is that this centralized server, right, it has to be online and it is a single point of failure that can risk the data. So, if the server goes down, then no one can work on the code or push changes. This is when we switch to distributed VCS. So in distributed VCS, every developer has a full copy of the repository, including its entire history. Developers can work independently, commit local changes, and share these changes with others. The advantages of this include offline work, fast operations, and this decentralized collaboration. But there is again a disadvantage here. It's quite small, but it can be a little complex to new users. And also, decentralized version control systems require more space than centralized ones. So, moving forward, okay, what is Git and why is it so popular? Git is not just a tool, it's a revolutionary concept that transforms the way developers work together on projects. At its core, Git is a distributed version control system, which is tirelessly tracking every change, every tweak, and every evolution in a project's journey. So now, why is Git the undisputed rock star of version control? Git thrives on its dynamic distributed system that enables developers to collaborate even across continents. Developers can now contribute simultaneously to the same code without stepping on each other's toes. But the real charm in Git lies in its decentralization. There is no more dependence on a central server. Every contributor possesses a complete copy of the project's history, and it's like having your own time machine, allowing you to explore and understand the evolution of your code base. So, Git gives developers the power to experiment without thinking twice. They can always return to a stable version if things take an unexpected turn and they mess up the code in the future. So then we get to that. Why is Git so popular? Because of the freedom, control, and efficiency it provides into the development process. So now that we know what is Git, let's go ahead and install Git. But before that, we have to check whether you already have Git installed. If yes, then which version do you have? So I will just go ahead and open the terminal. All right. So how do I check my Git version is installed or not? We go and type git dash dash version in your terminal and you press enter. So you can see that I have this version of Git on my device, but it is not the latest version. We can find the latest version on the official website of Git. Now, if you already have Git, then you can continue with this session with your Git. And if you do not have Git, let's look at the next video so that we learn how to install Git. Um, can I please know if the video is audible to all of you? Were you able to hear the video?
No.
Okay. 1 minute, then I'll just check. Okay. Uh, I hope it will be audible now. Please stop me if the video is not audible.
Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you how you can install Git in your Windows operating system. So let's start with the Git installation. Open the official website of Git by searching for Git on any browser of your preference. The first link that appears here is the git-scm.com. Click on this link and you will be redirected to their official website where you will see this download for Windows button. So we will just click on this button and it will begin downloading for us. So here you will also see a list of options where you can download, but we will be going with the very first option, which is click here to download. So this has begun the download of our .exe executable file. Let's just give it a couple of minutes while it finishes the download. Now my file has been downloaded. So I'm going to open my downloads folder and I can see this executable file. So I'll click on this. Okay. So first of all, we see this window that will say, do you want to allow this app to make changes to your device? Yes, we will click on the yes button. Now you can see the setup for Git has been started. The first window is about the public license. Let's just go ahead and click on the next button. This will be the location where your Git will be installed. We can just leave it as default and click on next. Okay, so now we have this select component window. You can customize this according to your preferences. For our video, I will just click the additional icons on the desktop and leave the rest as default. Next, we can leave the select start menu folder as default and go to the next one. Now we have to choose the default editor for Git. For the purpose of our video, we will be going with Visual Studio Code as the Git's default editor. But here you can see when I click on this, I'm getting this, I'm not able to click the next button, right? So for this, we will be having to download Visual Studio Code. So let us go ahead and download the Visual Studio Code from their official website. So if you click on Visual Studio, you will get the link to the official website and then you can go ahead and download the software from there for your device and operating system. I will be going ahead with the Windows OS for now. Please note that you do not necessarily need to use Visual Studio Code for this. You can also go ahead and use any other default editor of your choice. but we will be using the Visual Studio Code for this video. So I'm going to click on the download for Windows button, and this is going to begin downloading VS Code for Windows for me. Let's just wait a couple of minutes for this to be downloaded. So my VS Code has been downloaded. I will open the setup and I will accept the agreement. Next, I have to select the destination location. I will keep it as default, and the startup menu folder also I will keep it as default. For the selecting additional tasks, I will just create a desktop icon. You can also add these particular things. Let me just add them for now. And yeah, let us begin. It is ready to install, so we'll begin the installation process. We will be having to wait a couple of minutes for the files to be installed. Okay, so Visual Studio Code has been installed, and we can get back to where we left off in Git. So I'm going to uncheck the launch and finish this. Now you can see in Git, we will choose Visual Studio as the default editor. We can see the next button as well right now. So click on next. Now we can adjust the name of the initial branch. You can either leave it as default or you can override and give it a name for the default initial branch. We are going to choose the option to override this. We should do this because when we use Git in GitHub, we usually name the default branch as main. So we are going to go forward with the main, and we'll then click on the next button. Now we have to adjust the path environment for Git. We can go with the recommended option here and click on next. Here as well, we will keep the default option for the OpenSSH and go to the next window. We are going to again choose the default option. Alright, here also we will be choosing the default option that is going to be there for your operating system. So here for the Windows style, we will use this option and go forward with the next one. We will be going with the default terminal emulator here as well. Alright, so we have the default behavior of giftful. We will be keeping it as fast forward or merge. Going for the next one. For credential manager, what is chosen as your recommended option, keep it as it is and go with the next part. We can go with the next option as well here. Alright, so here we have some experimental things that this is not exactly required for our video, so we can just go with the installation. If you want, you can check them both as well. So alright, let's just go ahead and install. So the Git setup is completed now, and we can go ahead and launch the Git bash, and we can uncheck the view release node and click on finish. So this has launched our Git bash, and we can go ahead and begin coding from this point onwards. Thank you.
Okay, so the setup is finished now. I hope you all are able to follow along with me as well. If you think that I'm going a little too fast, then do feel free to stop me so that I can maybe repeat the concepts or go a little slow. So now I hope all of you will have Git Bash launched on your device. Uh, okay. Hmm, yeah. So you can also find, if you search for Git, you would notice that you have Git bash, right? You also have Git GUI and Git CM in your start menu. So let's go ahead and open Git bash and Git GUI and see how both of them look. So in Git GUI, okay, um, hold on. Yeah. So in Git GUI, you would see that we have a few options called create new repository, clone existing repo, or open existing repo. So right now, for this session, we will be going with the Git bash, that is the command line tool. So let's quit the Git GUI for now. All right. Now let's dive into some commands and concepts of Git, right? So first of all, Git is up and running, and let us create a minor code. I have this document folder called Gitverse docs on my desktop where I have just made a very simple program, all right. This is called the add.java. All I'm doing is adding two numbers and displaying the output. So what I will do now, I will just commit this code and push it to a GitHub repository. So to do this, first you can go to a folder where you have any code you want to commit, and you can just right click there. You will get the new option here, that is git bash here. You can ideally also use terminal, but we are going to do it with git bash right now. So as you can see, I'm inside the desktop gitverse docs folder, and the first thing I will do is run this git init command. This is going to initialize an empty git repository in this folder. If you can see here, I have this .git repository, file in this folder. So usually you might not be able to see this because it is a hidden file. So if you want to check whether this was added to your folder or not, all you have to do is type ls-al. So this will list all the files and folders in this particular path. And you can see that we have the .git directory here. So I can see the hidden file here as well. Now let's check the status of our Git. And when we do this, we can see that uh, there have been no commits made yet. And there is one untracked file called add.java. So this file is not yet tracked using Git. And we need to add this file to Git and then commit it. So first we will do is git add and then the name of the file add.java. Okay, so now we will again do git status, and now you can see that this file name is in green. It means that we have added the file to git, but it is yet to be committed. So to commit this, we will do the git commit dash m. Now this dash m can be used to give a comment to this commit. Let's give it as initial commit or first commit. Anything that you want to commit, you can give it as a message here. And then we will write the file name add.java. All right. So when I press enter on this, I can see that I have successfully done this. But this is because I already have configured my Git. You might be getting a message right now which will tell you to configure your Git to commit this file. So let's go back to the presentation and check out how do we configure our Git. Okay. So the first time we use Git, we have to specify a few configuration settings. They can be such as our name, email, and default editor. Now, There are three levels in which we can configure these name, email, and default editors, which are the settings. At the first top level is the system level, in which we can configure the settings for applying to all users on this current computer. Below this, we have the global level. The settings here apply to all repositories of the current user. Then we have the local level. These settings will apply only to the current repository. So let's go ahead and check out how do we configure our Git by watching this next video. Okay.
Let's go ahead and configure our Git now. So we will open Git bash first. Okay, let me just, okay. So here type git config dash dash global. Global specifies the level at which we are defining these settings. So after this, we will specify the setting name which we want to configure. So first we will configure our username. So user.name, and then I will take my name, Cynthia Kumar, and press enter. So our username has been configured. Now let's go ahead and do the same thing for the email as well. Gmail.com. Our email has also been configured. Now we will specify the default editor. So we will go with Visual Studio Code, which we downloaded earlier, but you can choose any editor that you prefer. Let's begin configuring that as well. And here git config dash dash global core dot editor. Then we will write code dash dash wait. Alright, press enter. So all these configuration settings are stored in a text file which can be edited using the default editor, which right now is VS Code here. So how do we edit this? We will type git config dash dash global to fetch the global settings and dash E. Okay, so this has opened our default editor with all the global settings, and you can now edit them as you like. Thank you.
Okay. So we are done with the setting configuration now. We have configured the settings on a global level. So let us just go back to our Git bash, right? So yeah, now you can go back to your Git bash and you can just copy this line again if it did not work for you previously, and you can enter it. This time you will get this particular success message, and it will show you that your file has been transferred from the staging area to the local repository. So let's just go ahead and do git status once again. All right. So it shows that there is nothing to commit and our working tree is clean. Now you can see that the branch name in front of your folder, uh, this is like in front of your folder right now, and the branch name is master for me, but it may be main for you. So don't worry about that. It's completely fine. It can be any of those two. So now that we are done with the basic Git part, let's go ahead and see what is GitHub and what is central repository, right?
Let's go ahead.
So think of GitHub as the grand theater where developers from every corner of the globe gather to showcase their creation. If Git is the composer and then GitHub is the concert hall where each node finds an audience and every project becomes a star. GitHub, founded in 2008, is not just a platform, it's a social network sort of for developers, right? So GitHub doesn't just host code, it fosters a vibrant community. You can picture a city crowded with enthusiastic developers who are like sharing their insights, raising issues, collaborating, and making groundbreaking projects. GitHub is the marketplace where ideas are exchanged, problems are solved, and innovation thrives. So let's get ready to showcase your skills and join a global community. Your GitHub profile is your digital avatar. So let's go ahead and craft it now. First, we will open our browser and we will go ahead and search for GitHub. So click on the first link here. Wait a minute. What I will do is I will search for GitHub on this account, right? Yeah. So when you do this, you can see that this is for me a new account. I have never registered on GitHub here. So you get the option to sign up or sign in. If you're a new user, you can go to sign up and you will see a very good UI right now. Like they're going to, you can see, okay, they're typing. It looks so cool. You're in a space, galaxy, something. Yeah. So you can just enter your email, password, and create a unique username, and you can sign up to GitHub. And if you already have an account, then you can go ahead and just sign in. And yeah, that is pretty much it. So let's open the GitHub page after signing up. How does it look? Let's see. So I already have an account. And when I open my account here, the first thing I get is the dashboard screen. So in the dashboard screen, there are a few parts. You might not see so much on your screen right now, but I'll let you know what each part is. First, you will see the top repositories you have, some teams you are in, or recent activities in this left side of your dashboard. You can also search in any of the past repositories you have made. Yes, I have a lot of them. And yeah, so after that, you have this sort of feed area, you can say, where someone has followed you, someone started a repository, trending posts, something, everything is there. Okay, so you can go ahead and spend time getting to know other repos here. And okay, give me a minute to drink some water. Okay, coming back, this part is where you get to know about what are the future features and changes in GitHub. And you can explore some more repos here. So you can also go ahead and join the GitHub education. As most of us here are students, GitHub education is going to be very useful to you. You can sign up using your college account and you can get a lot of offers which are usually paid for free. So go ahead and do that. Now, the next most important thing to do when you have for the first time joined GitHub is that first click on this icon, which will be your profile icon, and then go to your profile, right? So when you go to your profile, you will see a page like this, although like as you can see, I have customized my profile really well. I have added my name. What do I do? I'm an application developer from Chennai. What am I working on? How many people viewed my GitHub? And some badges and how to connect with me. All of these I have, I will just refresh the page, added to something called a README file. Now, when you first open GitHub, the first thing you will have after creating GitHub is this file under the same name as your username called the README file. This README file is a special repository which is created for you to customize your GitHub profile. So you can include a lot of details here. What have you worked on, contributions and everything. So how do you do this? First, you will click on the repository tab. Here you can see that there will be a repo with your own username on it, the same username that you have. This is your config files for the GitHub profile. So as you can see, this is a special repository. It will appear on your public profile. So how do you make your profile like mine? Well, for now, what you can do is you can go ahead and check my profile and you can click on this edit icon and you can get the entire source code and you can figure out how to customize this to yourself. Each and everything in this source code, like let's say the holopin board and some other stuff like Stack Overflow stats, all of these are custom sort of you can say custom features which have been developed by many developers and you can directly use them to make your profile look nice. So it is important to start with the GitHub and first thing you do is make a good profile which shows all your uh, what do you call that, all your past skills, what have you done connecting with you, so that someone who looks into your profile first thing just likes this and goes into checking out others. Okay, so that is how you can customize your profile. You can go ahead and search for some more profiles like mine. For example, I have like this is a very nice profile I had found before. It is very minimalistic but nice. You can go ahead and check this or maybe another one. And there are many more profiles. Like this guy is a YouTuber and he has a very nice README file. So you can just go ahead and click on the edit button and get the source code, then customize it to yourself, or you can go ahead and just make your own custom things, right? To make your README and profile pretty. So, okay, that is all we will talk about for customizing the profile. And now let's just get back to the project that we were working on, right? This one. So now we will learn how to put the add.java file on your GitHub. So to do this, you can see this button. This is going to create a new repository. So go ahead and create a new one. So here you can give any name to your repo. Uh, Usually, I would suggest you to give the same name as your project folder name or project name. Right now, as okay, yeah, the name of this folder was gitverse docs. So I will also go ahead and name my repo as gitverse docs. I hope the name is the same. Yeah, okay. You can put any description here as you like. Then you can leave your repo as public so anyone can check your code and maybe contribute to it. Or you can keep it as private so only you can see and contribute to your repository. You also have the option to add a README file, which is like a gives a description, longer documentation description of your project. You can add a git ignore to track some ignored files, and you can also choose a license. But for this demo purpose, we will not be going to doing any of these. We will just do like the public and the name. That's all. So let's create the repository. Yeah. So you can see now that we have created this repo. This is the URL for it, and there are some you can say procedures on how can we put this on our like how can we commit the changes from our local file to the repo, right? So what we will do is right now we have already ran the git init, the git add and git commit, first commit or initial commit as right now. We are currently on the master branch, but if you're on the main, you don't need to worry about this either. If I want, I can also change this. Let me just do that right now. So yeah, so I have switched my branch. If you're not on the master main branch, then go ahead and change to the main branch. Now, what we will do is we have to remote add this particular HTTP or SSH. Okay. So usually you would go with the HTTP. I already have something called an SSH key, so it shows me SSH by default, but we will be going with the HTTP. So how do we go for this one? What we're going to do first is we will need to generate a token so that we don't need to keep entering the username and the password again and again. So go to your profile. So here you will see the settings. In the settings, go to the developer settings at the very bottom. Here you can see personal access token. So here you will be seeing the tokens classic token. We'll be generating a classic new token and clicking on this. So it is going to tell you to enter your password if you have two-factor authentication, that is. Okay. So now you can create a new token. What is this token for? You can just say something first token. All right. So expiration days, you can keep it to any amount of days. For you, I think no expiration will be the best if you want to keep the token in use for a long time. But I am going to make this one expire in 1 day. So tomorrow it will expire. And after this, I'll go ahead and give all the privileges to my token. And I will generate the token. Okay. So now make sure that you copy this token and store it somewhere safe because you can only see this token once. Once you close this window, this token will not be visible anymore. So I'm going to open a notepad and I'm going to just paste my token here for now. No need to see this. And now we will modify the, okay, I closed it by mistake. I closed my repository by mistake. What I will do is I'll go to my repository and yeah, git first. I'm going to open this again. So we are going to basically modify this command. Okay. So you can copy this and you can paste it here. So how are you going to modify it to include the token? The git remote add will be as it is here. Origin will also be there. Then after HTTPS, we will be pasting the token here. Okay. And we will be giving an add the date before the github.com. After this, both the things Cynthia Konar and Git first off is same. We will just remove the .git and yeah, that is what we need to do and we are good to go. You can do this for your uh, as well and now you need to paste this in your git bash. Okay, so after you paste it, just press enter. All right, so I think my changes remote has been added. So we will now do git push and u dash u origin main. With this, we will be pushing our, yes, we have up to track. Okay, pushed our code to GitHub, it seems. So let's just go back and refresh the screen. Okay, so you can see that the Java file is here now. So we can make some more changes to our code and commit it once again. To do this time, I will show you how to do the next part with VS Code. So what I will do is I will open this folder with code. This is a step, like another way to do it. It's not compulsory to do it in this way. I'm just showing you another method. All right. So let's say that other than printing the sound, I will print, mm, let's say, hello world. And I save the changes. So you can see that here, this is there is one source control here. So the changes have been tracked by the VS Code, click on the plus button. This has gone ahead and staged our changes. Now, what we used to do before with the dash m, we will add the same thing in a text box. So this is like a GUI version. Let's say changing some file and if it is like an update, changing some file. That just makes this is just a comment, okay? And you can go ahead and click on the comment button. Then you will sync the changes. Now, sometimes when doing this, you might have to have make sure that your account to GitHub is linked on VS Code. Just if in case you're not able to do this, make sure that you go through with that process. And if we just refresh the change now, okay, you can see that there is one new commit. You can see the past commits as well here. So the update changing some file is here done and add.java has been changed. Now let's see how to do git pull. So what if I make some changes here? Let me just add like I'm just adding a comment and I commit the changes directly on the GitHub, right? So I will be getting the changes here as well. If you click on this button, that is synchronize Git. Usually you would be able to see the changes, but for some reason it is not showing me. So if you click on this button, it will show that this action will push and pull commits from and to the origin name. So click on the OK. And yeah, you can see that the commit here is added. So this is like an easy way to do the git pull and git push. And if you have any changes, you can directly go ahead and do that. Now, sometimes what happens is, let's say I am adding something like, hey, how are you? And I have to push these changes. Okay. Now, someone else has maybe made a change to the code and let me edit this. They have also added something like la, 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 something, something. Okay. So committed these changes. So when this happens, right, usually we get something called a git conflict or merge conflict. So we have staged the changes and now we will try to commit it. Let's see. Uh, let's say that comment added. This is the message. So we are trying to commit it and we will do this where we will be syncing the changes so it will push and pull together. Okay, so now we are getting this something called a merge conflict. So when merge conflict happens, usually it happens when you have done some changes in the code and someone else has changed the same part of the code. So you have a few options: accept current change, accept incoming change, or accept both changes and compare changes. Like if you click on the compare changes, you can see in two tabs. This is what changes I had made in this computer, and this is someone else who made it from somewhere else on Git. So what I can do is let's just we can solve it by either doing this by removing this thing and directly like removing it in code, it's solved, or we can do like accept current change and we solve the conflict. We add it and then we sync it with that message which was there. Cancel. 1 minute. Okay. I hope this will work. Merge, open git log. Okay. It seems there are some more issues. Okay. Let's just not worry about this. Usually this will be working for us, but because of some issues, it's not right now. We can leave it as B and I will check it out and maybe give you a resolution after some time. So now that we have done some more basics on connecting Git and GitHub and going forward with it, let us go ahead and check out what exactly is it to contribute to open source. So now as we embark on this practical journey of GitHub, I want to share the incredible opportunity that is here for all of us open source coders. So I will be introducing to you the Winter of Code by Tech Researchers Club at V80 Chennai. So this is a month-long open source event that is currently in full swing, running until the 15th of February. And what makes it special? Well, besides the thrill of contributing to real-world projects, participants also stand a chance to receive a physical letter of appreciation acknowledging your dedication to open source community. So, how can you be a part of this coding fiesta? It's as simple as creating a GitHub account, which we have just done, and diving into the vast ocean of projects which are available for you on the GitHub. And so, to search for these projects, you just have to type the words in search on GitHub called TRC-WOC tag, or you can go ahead and scan this QR code right here to directly see all the repos that are available under this uh, open source event going on currently. So once you find a project that sparks your interest, you can read through the guidelines and let your coding begin. And to ensure that you can smoothly understand what is happening and talk to us, make sure that you join our Discord channel and verify yourself. So here's the exciting part. The projects and the domains of projects we have here are including web development, Web3, app development, and open source. And these are all ready and waiting for your contribution. So, whether you're passionate about building robust web applications or exploring Web3, there's a project that aligns with you here. So, let's bring this open source contribution to life with a live demonstration. I will be going back to GitHub, and what I will do here is, like I said, I will be searching for TRCWOC. That is the tag you will search for to get to. Yes. So here are all the results. There are 22 projects we have currently open for the Winter of Code. So let's first of all pick a project from here and make the first contribution. So I will be picking the first project. And what you have to do after you pick a project is you have to check out the you can check out the README, check out what is this project about and who all have contributed, stack used, and make sure that it matches with what you can do as well. Then you can check the contributing.md. So this file will let you know uh, how can you contribute, how can you get this um, particular report to your device, cloning it and making the changes, how to make the changes. So everything is, excuse me, mentioned here already. So what we will do right now is, first of all, we will clone this. That is, we will take this report to our device. For this, usually you would go for HTTP. You can also go for SSH. I already have a password protected SSH key. So I'm going to go with this method right now. I would let you all explore how to make an SSH key or how to get this with HTTP in your own device. For now, I will not be able to explain that because we will not be having enough time to run through all of this together today. So I'm just going to directly clone this. So let's just go ahead and do that. I will clone it here. Let me again open git bash here. Okay. So there were some issues. What I will do is I will just create a separate. Mm, okay. Why has this not? Mm, yeah. So I will just create a separate file and I can close this one now. I'll create a new folder, say Winter of Code. I'll enter this folder and I will open Git bash here. So first I will initialize an empty repository. Then I will clone with my SSH that I copied earlier. Okay, it did not get copied, it seems. I'll go ahead and copy it once again. Copied, pasting. Yeah. So now we are cloning into this. It seems like this is a large file, so it is taking some time. Okay, so I have cloned it, and now if I open the winter of code again, I can see that this is here. Okay, so I have all the code from the GitHub repo on my device. I'm going to open this with code. I have opened it with VS Code, and what I'm going to do is, first of all, before you make any changes, make sure that you are going to this and you're going through the issues which are currently open. Check whether you can contribute to some of these. You can read through them, image is not getting loaded, improve on this, and make some new contributions. So for now, we had created this particular issue to demonstrate the this session for merging pull requests. So I'm going to go ahead and make a very small change in the front end VD. Let's see. And here, let's say that this is the front end screen, right? So I will just make a tiny change somewhere. Where should I make a change? Just add this comment styling, or I'll just change this comment and this. For demonstration purpose, I'm just adding very basic change. That is, I have changed the styling for the screen. Now I cannot directly commit these changes, all right? So what I will do is I will create a new branch from the main branch, and I can name it anything. Let's say Gitverse demo. Okay. So I am on the Gitverse demo branch. I have made this particular tiny change, and I'm going to push my change now. So let's just say I'm going to give the message as demo comment for Gitverse workshop. And now I will be publishing the branch. Also, make sure that before doing any of these, you have contacted mm, the maintainer uh, of the particular project that you're interested in working in. Okay. I had already contacted this Spandan, and he has given me access to this. That is why I'm able to push these changes. So make sure that you get the access. And after this, you can compare and pull. So what I will do is I will create a pull request. I will click on this and I will create a pull request to me. I will assign Spandan as the reviewer, maybe assign yourself as the person who did this. The label can be TRC, winter of code, and the project. Okay, no project is there. And you can just do this and write demo something. You can add a description as you like. So I'm just going to do a very basic description and I will create this pull request. So the pull request is created. What I will do is, mm, yeah, so I can link it to this issue from this repository, comment and merge. This is what the pull request I created for. So it is linked, and now the maintainer is going to review my changes. He can check it out here in the files changed. And if he thinks that, okay, these changes are valid, then he will be merging my pull request. If he doesn't think it is valid, he can give me a comment and tell me to redo the changes again. So that is all about contributing to Winter of Code open source. I hope you all have liked this session. And yeah, You have just unlocked the gateway to Gitverse. Remember, every line of code is a step in your open source journey. So if you have any doubts now, you can put them in the chat box, and me or the mentors can look at them. And later, if you want, you can, okay, go ahead and just join us on our Discord channel and reach out to the mentors. So thank you so much for being on this session. If you want, you can type in the chat box or maybe unmute and ask your questions. The recording will be available on YouTube. So in case I was a little too fast, I did not see this message before, you can check it out again and go at your own. Okay. Yeah. The Discord link. Maina, can you share the Discord link here? Thank you. I'll stop sharing my screen now then. Okay, so Aniket asked me to talk about myself. I am in the app development department in HackClub, and I have been contributing to open source, that which is why I took this workshop on GitHub. I started contributing in my first year, so it's been 2 to 3 years now. And yeah, uh, regarding my uh, well professional journey, I have interned at a few startups. I have worked and freelanced on basically mainly app development and backend as well. And for the year of 2022, I had a huge contribution to GitHub, where I also participated in some open source challenges. And now that is why I'm sharing my experience here. The recording will be shared. Yes, it will be uploaded on the YouTube channel of TRC soon, and the Discord channel. So uh, I think thank you all so much for being with us through this session. Happy coding,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cynthia.
Okay. Bye bye then.
Bye, guys.